Attention passionate San Francisco 49ers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on San Francisco 49ers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true San Francisco 49ers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and San Francisco 49ers fans. Let's get to the news all right. Folks, buckle up because what I'm about to tell you might be one of the most shocking and game-changing rumors we've seen in a long time in the NFL, especially for us 49ers fans. Rumors are swirling, and the buzz is all about a potential blockbuster trade that, if it goes down, could reshape the NFC West and give the 49ers a serious boost heading into the playoffs and beyond. The name involved? Myles Garrett, the Cleveland Browns' dominant edge rusher, a player that's been described as an unstoppable force on the field, and a guy who could instantly transform our pass rush and defensive front. According to sources like Adam Schefter and some whispers on X, formerly Twitter, the Browns are seriously contemplating trading Garrett to San Francisco, and the reasons behind it are as intriguing as the potential impact on the league. Now, let's break down what's going on behind the scenes. Cleveland, after a tough 3-12 season in 2025, facing injuries and struggles at quarterback, is now looking to rebuild. The Browns are in a tricky spot. They've got some cap space, around $22 million, but they're also in desperate need of a franchise quarterback and extensions for their key players like Nick Chubb. Meanwhile, their defense has been leaking points, giving up an average of 29 points per game. That's not the kind of number you want to see if you're trying to contend, and it raises questions about their long-term competitiveness. So it seems Cleveland is eyeing a rebuild, and they're willing to part with a player of Garrett's caliber in exchange for some high-value draft picks, specifically 2 first-round picks, one in 2026 and another in 2027. The plan? Stockpile assets and build from the ground up, especially with a focus on their offense, which has been inconsistent, averaging just 16 points per game in recent matchups. From the 49ers' perspective, this is a no-brainer. Adding Garrett would be like striking gold. At age 30, Garrett is a titan on the edge, a true disruptor who can change the course of a game with his relentless pressure and ability to collapse pockets. Over his 9-year career, he's racked up 104 sacks, 20 forced fumbles, and a PFF grade averaging around 93. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, and in 2024 he had an outstanding season with 14 sacks, a PFF grade of 94, 2 and 42 pressures in just 14 games. Despite a wrist injury in Week 5, he returned to dominate, showing no signs of slowing down. His ability to generate pressure and disrupt the quarterback is second to none, and with Nick Bosa already leading the way, the addition of Garrett would create one of the most fearsome pass-rushing duos in the league. But the big question is, why would Cleveland want to trade such a top-tier talent? Well, it all comes down to their rebuilding plans. They're trying to shed salary, free up cap space, and focus on acquiring draft capital for the future. Garrett's salary at around $25 million per year is a significant chunk of their cap, especially when they're still trying to stabilize their roster and develop a young quarterback. Some skeptics might argue that trading Garrett, a player of his caliber, could weaken their defense in the short term, but Cleveland's management seems to believe that they can't afford to keep him if they want to rebuild properly. Plus, with Jadeveon Clowney already traded in 2022 for draft picks, the Browns might see Garrett as a luxury they can't afford anymore, especially with their focus on developing a young QB and rebuilding their offense. Now, imagine this scenario from our side. If the trade happens, the impact on the 49ers could be seismic. Our defense, which has been solid but could use an extra punch, would get an instant upgrade. Garrett's presence on the line would allow us to generate even more pressure on opposing quarterbacks, making life miserable for anyone trying to throw against us. We've seen how Bosa and the rest of our front have been playing, but adding Garrett turns that pass rush into a nightmare for offenses. His ability to collapse pockets, pressure the QB, and create turnovers would elevate our defense to a new level, especially in critical moments. And let's not forget, the 49ers are already a team that prides itself on a dominant defense and a versatile offense led by Brock Purdy. Adding Garrett could be the final piece to push us over the edge as Super Bowl favorites. We're currently sitting at 11-4, battling with other NFC contenders, But having Garrett on the line could be the difference maker in high-stakes playoff games. His presence would also help us against division rivals like the Seahawks, who are always competitive and dangerous. Our secondary, which has faced some injuries and inconsistencies, could also benefit indirectly from Garrett's pressure, forcing quarterbacks to make quicker decisions and increasing our chances of turnovers. Now let's talk about the numbers and the projections here. If Garrett joins the Niners, we're looking at a potential increase of around 18 sacks for the season, which would be a huge boost for our pass rush. His pressure rate against quarterbacks could jump by 25%, turning our defense into a true nightmare for offenses. In terms of run defense, having Garrett at the line could cut down rushing yards significantly, from about 100 yards per game down to roughly 75. That's a massive improvement, especially against teams that rely heavily on their running game. Plus, with Garrett commanding double teams, it opens up opportunities for others like Bosa and our linebackers to make plays. The synergy between Garrett and Bosa could be something special, similar to what we saw with Micah Parsons and the Cowboys last year, who combined for over 190 pressures in 2023. That kind of disruption would be a game changer for us. And it's not just about the defense. Offensively, the increased pressure we generate could lead to more turnovers, more sacks, and better field position for Brock Purdy and our offense. We've already seen how Purdy has been developing, and adding Garrett to the mix would give him even more opportunities to operate with confidence. Our offense, which currently averages around 26 points per game, could see that number climb to 31 or even higher, especially if we get better protection and more opportunities for big plays. The fact that our offensive line might see less pressure overall, thanks to Garrett forcing the issue from the other side of the line, means more time for Purdy to find open receivers and extend drives. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture, Super Bowl odds. Right now, the 49ers are sitting pretty with plus 1,300 odds to win Super Bowl LX. But if Garrett joins the team, those odds could plummet to around plus 500. That's a huge shift, similar to what the Rams experienced in 2021 when they added Von Miller, boosting their disruption rate by 22%. Garrett's addition would be seen as a true X-factor, an upgrade that could push us to the top of the NFC standings and make us serious contenders. Our odds to win the NFC could also improve from plus 600 to about plus 250, putting us right in the mix with the best teams in the league. This kind of move could even inspire confidence across the entire roster, giving our players that extra motivation to push even harder in the playoffs. Of course, this all hinges on Cleveland's willingness to part with Garrett. The Browns are in a tricky spot. They want to rebuild, but they also don't want to weaken their defense too much in the process. They're aware of the risk. Losing a player of Garrett's caliber could put them at a disadvantage in the short term, but acquiring those draft picks could set them up for a brighter future. For us, it's a gamble worth taking if it means landing one of the most dominant edge rushers in the league. The trade could be the catalyst for a dynasty, an anchor that helps us chase multiple Super Bowl titles and cement our legacy as one of the greatest teams of this era. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, the impact would be felt immediately. Our front seven would become an unstoppable force, capable of harassing even the best quarterbacks in the league. Opponents would have to double or triple team Garrett, freeing up our other pass rushers to get after the QB and create chaos. Our run defense would improve and the overall team confidence would skyrocket. It would also send a message to the rest of the league. The 49ers are all in for another Super Bowl run, and we're willing to do whatever it takes to get there. And of course, the fans' reactions would be electric. Imagine the atmosphere at Levi's Stadium, knowing we've added a player like Garrett. The energy, the anticipation, the belief that this could be the year we finally bring home that 6th Lombardi trophy. This kind of move would energize our whole fan base and send a clear message to our NFC rivals that the 49ers are serious contenders. It's a bold move, but in today's NFL, sometimes you have to take big risks to achieve big rewards. So in conclusion, folks, if this trade goes through, it could be the move that defines the next chapter of our franchise's history. Garrett as a 49er, it's not just a pipe dream, it's a real possibility that could reshape the NFC West and put us on a path to Super Bowl glory. Keep your eyes peeled, stay fired up, and get ready for what could be an electrifying offseason. The 49ers are always about making bold moves, and this one could be the biggest of them all. Let's hope the front office pulls the trigger, because if they do, the league better watch out. We're coming for that Lombardi, and with Garrett in the mix, the journey just got a whole lot more exciting. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest San Francisco 49ers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, San Francisco 49ers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Garrett is the missing piece to finally get us over the hump and bring home that elusive Super Bowl? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the 49ers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest San Francisco 49ers news. The offseason is heating up and things are about to get even more exciting. Let's keep that passion alive and get ready for what's next. Go Niners!